60 million graduates may face permanent unemployment, livelihood crisis looms over China. Upstream, Reuters says China's latest Blockbuster harshly criticizes gig economy. Hospitals and funeral homes in China overwhelmed as COVID-19 resurges. China conducts successive drills to address clusters of unexplained pneumonia. Crisis worsens, at least 48 million pre-sold homes in China remain unfinished. U.S. Army sergeant admits guilt in sale of sensitive military documents to China. It's all covered in today's China Truths. 60 million graduates may face permanent unemployment, livelihood crisis looms over China. An unemployment crisis is sweeping across China, coupled with skyrocketing prices for vegetables and grains. The Chinese people are feeling the squeeze from both sides, making their daily lives increasingly difficult. Foreign investment is fleeing the country at an unprecedented rate. Private businesses are resorting to layoffs and bankruptcies. Even large supermarkets haven't been immune, with over 130 closures in just the first half of this year, leaving more than 1 million people jobless. The phrase unemployed at 35 has become a chilling reminder of the severity of this employment crisis. To compound these woes, a new wave of unemployment is hitting college graduates, with estimates suggesting a staggering 60 million graduates could face the prospect of never finding stable work. In more detail, independent media outlet Successive Finance has reported that from 2024 to 2040, roughly 12 million new college graduates will enter the job market each year. This surge is a consequence of China's baby boom, and the number of graduates isn't expected to significantly decrease until after 2040. However, society simply cannot generate enough reliable jobs that come with Social Security benefits to accommodate these graduates. Successive Finance, citing official data, predicts that between 2024 and 2040, the number of secure jobs vacated by retirees annually will range from 3.5 million to 6.8 million. Even with an optimistic estimate of 3.6 million new jobs created each year through GDP growth, the total number of reliable positions, those offering Social Security, will only be between 7.1 million and 10 million per year. And this projection is based on the optimistic assumption of a 4% annual GDP growth. The reality, as exposed by financial news sources earlier this year, is that the Chinese Communist Party has been falsifying data. China's 2023 GDP is likely to have experienced negative growth. If this is the case, the number of so-called reliable jobs available each year would be cut in half at the very least. Successive Finance's grim conclusion is that while the employment situation for this year's college graduates is dire, it's merely a harbinger of what's to come. It's estimated that between 2024 and 2040, a cumulative 60 million graduates will be unable to secure stable employment. They will be forced into precarious jobs, temporary work, or even permanent unemployment. These 15 years after graduation are crucial for young people starting their careers. Wasting these 15 years will likely mean a lifetime of missed opportunities. As if the threat to employment wasn't enough, prices in China are also surging. On August 13th, chat screenshots circulating within the country revealed a sharp increase in vegetable prices. Common vegetables are now selling for 5 yuan per gene, approximately 500 grams, with some nearing 10 yuan, about $1.40 USD. Netizens have expressed their disbelief, pointing out that this is typically the season when vegetables are at their cheapest. This unusual price hike seems to be affecting the entire country. When questioned, supermarket staff have stated they've received orders to raise prices. International netizens have echoed these concerns, sharing that their relatives in China have reported sudden increases in the cost of vegetables and meat. In some areas, pork is now selling for 17 or 18 yuan per gene, around $2.38 to $2.52 USD. Widespread flooding this year is expected to reduce autumn grain yields, further strained by the war in Ukraine affecting grain imports. This combination suggests that grain prices may continue to rise next year. Analysts argue that these abnormal price increases are driven by policy decisions aimed at boosting consumption, leading to significant hikes in essential goods. Growing concerns suggest that future food shortages may not stem from actual scarcity but from prices becoming unaffordable for the average consumer, potentially signaling the onset of a deep crisis for ordinary Chinese citizens. Financial analysts from self-media platforms are sounding the alarm about severe inflation on the horizon, which could lead to a major famine. Upstream, Reuters says China's latest blockbuster harshly criticizes gig economy. This summer, China's box office hit Upstream challenges the typical themes of Chinese cinema, focusing on the economic downturn and the plight of gig workers. Directed by and starring Su Zhang, known for his comedic roles, the film critiques the gig economy through the story of a low-paid motorcycle delivery driver struggling with the harsh demands of his job. According to the movie ticket platform Maoyan, Upstream premiered on Friday, August 8, quickly topping the box office and drawing nearly 5 million viewers by Tuesday. The film's release comes at a time when economic uncertainties and the intense pressures faced by delivery workers dominate public discourse. The narrative sheds light on the brutal competition among delivery drivers who often take risky shortcuts during long shifts, sometimes lasting over 14 hours. Notably, the film does not specify the company the drivers work for, but their canary yellow helmets and uniforms closely resemble those of Meituan, a leading Chinese food delivery service. Although Meituan's spokesperson stated to Reuters that the company was not involved in the film's production and has not commented on its portrayal, the depiction is telling. Upstream also includes appearances by drivers in light blue uniforms, suggesting a reference to Alibaba's ele.me, another key player in the delivery sector. Alibaba has yet to comment on the film. As noted by Hong Kong-based marketing consultant Ashley Dedernick in a Reuters interview, the film poignantly portrays the social descent of Gao Xulei and other drivers as they navigate the perils of their jobs, reflecting the broader disillusionment felt by many Chinese today, a stark contrast to the more optimistic sentiments of a decade ago. The movie has sparked robust online debate, with viewers praising its candid exploration of social issues rarely addressed in Chinese films due to censorship. Some comments have pointed out the bleak reality that hard work alone may not lead to a better life, suggesting that avoiding traditional life goals like marriage and homeownership may be necessary. While some have criticized the film's dramatic finale, delivery drivers in Shanghai expressed that they might opt to watch Upstream online for free rather than paying to see it in theaters. One driver remarked that the delivery industry demands constant racing against time, often against life itself, underscoring that it is not a suitable profession for the average person. Hospitals and funeral homes in China overwhelmed as COVID-19 resurges. The COVID-19 situation in China has escalated sharply, with the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, confirming a significant increase in infections. Hospitals and funeral homes are again reaching capacity across the country, signaling a severe surge in cases and sudden deaths. Chief Physician Wang Chao stated, "I've tested positive again, unable to escape the new variant. It started with a sore throat, like swallowing knives, then progressed to fever. We're now facing a mix of COVID-19 and flu." Echoing this sentiment, Dr. Xiaoqin noted a worrying resurgence, observing, "COVID-19 is making a comeback. Colleagues and patients alike are testing positive one after another." The CDC reports a steady increase in the positivity rate. Citizens online are sharing their experiences, with doctors warning of a new peak. The CDC's latest data shows the COVID-19 infection rate has doubled from 8.9% to 18.7% in just a month, with the rise of the XDV variant. Dr. Gung Lili reported a significant spike in cases, noting, "It wasn't until the fever persisted and they went to the hospital for testing that they realized it was COVID-19 again." The public has been particularly hard hit, with Mr. Wen from Guangzhou described the dire conditions. "The pandemic is serious. Both children and adults have been infected. It's so frustrating, even getting some medicine is a hassle." In Guangdong, the province recorded 18,384 COVID-19 cases in July, a sharp increase from June. Meanwhile, in Hebei, symptoms are intensifying, with Mr. Zhang reporting severe sore throats and fevers. Similar scenes are unfolding in Junyi, Guizhou, where funeral homes struggle to cope with the sudden deaths. In Shanghai, Mr. Chen, a delivery worker, recounted the sudden deaths in his community. Just last week, someone I know passed away suddenly after work, no symptoms, just gone. As this wave continues to impact various regions, citizens are urged to stay informed and take necessary precautions. China conducts successive drills to address clusters of unexplained pneumonia. As the epidemic escalates in China, an account on Platform X named Teacherly is Not Your Teacher reported that emergency drills to manage clusters of unexplained pneumonia have been conducted across the country. Confirmed locations include Gansu, Beijing, Zhejiang, Sichuan, Hunan, and Yunnan. On August 13, Shanghai China Network reported that these drills aim to bolster the construction of infectious disease emergency response teams at municipal, county, and district levels, enhancing the efficiency of public health emergency responses. The drills involved over 50 personnel from various CDC levels and focused on tabletop exercises for unexplained pneumonia clusters. Meanwhile, the Health Commission of Shijingshan District in Beijing, on August 7, detailed its emergency drill aimed at boosting the operational readiness of local medical and health institutions, standardizing emergency procedures, and ensuring effective management of infectious disease outbreaks. The simulated scenario involved a couple showing persistent flu-like symptoms, leading to a comprehensive emergency response exercise that included outbreak discovery, reporting, epidemiological investigation, patient transport, and infection source management. Zhejiang's Lishui Daily reported on August 7 that the Lishui Municipal CDC recently held its second completely blind emergency drill of 2024. 10 teams from the municipal CDC and 9 county-level CDCs participated. The drill simulated an outbreak of pneumonia of unknown cause. Upon receiving instructions, each CDC quickly mobilized its emergency response team. Epidemiological investigators rushed to the hospital to conduct on-site investigations, interviewing doctors and patients. Lab personnel worked to identify the pathogen as quickly as possible, while disinfection teams moved in to decontaminate the affected area. Experts then collaborated to analyze the epidemic risk and formulate response strategies. Crisis worsens, at least 48 million pre-sold homes in China remain unfinished. China's economic downturn is heavily impacting its real estate sector, marked by a significant slump in sales and construction. A Bloomberg report from August 13 highlighted a critical issue: over 48 million pre-sold homes in China remain unfinished, signifying a deep-seated property crisis with no quick resolution in sight. Bloomberg analysts Christy Hung and Monica C. report that the extent of unfinished homes now surpasses Germany's total housing stock from 2021. This vast number of incomplete properties threatens developers' revenue as potential buyers are increasingly cautious, often opting for completed or second-hand homes over pre-sale projects. Since 2000, China has seen a deficit of 8.4 billion square meters in completed housing, approximately 38% of the expected construction output. The proportion of unfinished homes compared to annual sales has surged from 17% before 2015 to 47% from 2015 to 2023, indicating growing market instability. The dynamics of the market are shifting, as evidenced by a Bloomberg report noting that last year, for the first time, the sales area of second-hand homes exceeded that of new homes. In the first half of this year, completed homes made up 27% of all new home sales, a significant increase from just 10% in 2021. Former Deputy Director of China's National Bureau of Statistics, He King, commented in September 2023 that the existing real estate supply is more than sufficient for China's 1.4 billion population and in an extreme scenario, could house up to 3 billion people. Data from CRIC Real Estate Research covering 30 major cities shows a 37% decrease in the transaction area for new homes in 2023 compared to the 2021 peak, while the market for second-hand properties soared to new heights. On August 1st, the China Index Research Institute reported that the average price for second-hand residential properties across 100 cities was 14,653 yuan per square meter, around $2,053, marking a continuous price decline over 27 months, with a sharper drop noted in July compared to June, and a yearly reduction of 6.58%. In July, transaction volumes in the second-hand market remained stable month-on-month but saw a 42.8% increase year-on-year. Among the 14 cities monitored, transaction volumes rose in 10 and fell in 4, with significant cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen experiencing robust annual growth. Manager Wang, a seasoned real estate broker, told National Business Daily that the growth in the second-hand market is deceptive, driven by ongoing price declines rather than genuine market health. This trend adversely affects the new home market, where developers struggle to reduce prices and adapt as quickly as the second-hand market, complicating the sales of new properties. U.S. Army Sergeant admits guilt in sale of sensitive military documents to China. The U.S. Department of Justice announced on Tuesday, August 13, that a U.S. Army intelligence analyst, Corbian Schultz, admitted to conspiring to sell military secrets to the Chinese Communist Party. Holding a top-secret security clearance, Schultz is charged with illegally transmitting sensitive military information, including U.S. defense strategies for Taiwan and details on missile defense systems. The DOJ states that Schultz collaborated with a Hong Kong resident, suspected of having ties to the Chinese government and labeled Conspirator A, to gather and transmit classified and export-controlled military data in exchange for $42,000. According to the indictment, before his arrest, Schultz provided at least 12 sets of sensitive, yet unclassified, documents related to U.S. military weapon systems and strategies. These included information on the HH-60 helicopter, F-22A fighter aircraft, the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, intercontinental ballistic missiles, the B-52 aircraft, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, HIMARS, and the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System. The indictment also noted that conspirator requested information on hypersonic equipment, although it is unclear if Schultz complied. Other documents supplied by Schultz included one discussing lessons the U.S. Army learned from the Ukraine War and how they could be applied to defending Taiwan, a self-ruled island that China seeks to control. Schultz also passed on documents relating to military exercises and U.S. military forces in South Korea and the Philippines, as well as a document related to U.S. military satellites. From Schultz, Conspirator A obtained documents about China's military tactics and the Chinese People's Liberation Army Rocket Force. The DOJ also mentioned that the sentencing hearing for Schultz is set for January 23, 2025. Schultz faces up to 10 years in prison for conspiring to obtain and transmit national defense information, up to 20 years for unauthorized export of technical data related to defense articles to China, up to 20 years for conspiring to violate the Arms Export Control Act and the International Traffic in Arms Regulations, ITAR, and up to 15 years for bribing public officials. The final sentencing will be determined by a federal district court judge, who will consider the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other legal factors. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.